You are listening to the Boss Experience Podcast, a podcast with conversations about business growth, self-development, and maintaining a mindset to achieve business success. My name is Michele Davis, and I am a business strategist and coach, and I am your host. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience Podcast. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. So, in case you're wondering, new episodes of the Boss Experience Podcast return on January 31st. So this week, I'm sharing with you another bonus episode. This is an interview I did with Laquita Monley, host of Laquita's Toolbox. And I'm breaking this interview down into 3 parts because it's a rather long interview. So in this first segment, we're talking about the 1 key reason online businesses fail. So you definitely want to tune in and take notes. So with that being said, enjoy the episode.
The information that we're going to receive from Michele Davis on today is definitely life-changing. She is going to be able to provide us some amazing tools that will help us grow both personally and professionally. Miss Michele, how are you? How are you? How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much, Laquita, for having me on. I'm excited.
Yay. No, it's like we were saying, like even before the broadcast, I'm excited. Every time I pop on live, it feels like it's the first time. So I love the excitement. I love the energy. And I know that you have some amazing information to share with us today. So I'm really looking forward to today's conversation.
So am I, Laquita. So am I. And, you're amazing as always. And I thank you for giving me the platform to share my knowledge.
Oh, it is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. So for those that are joining us that may not be in your following, please take a moment to tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and your great podcast, The Boss Experience.
Absolutely. So my name is Michele Davis. I am a business coach and business strategist. For those of you who have never heard of me and you're seeing me for the first time, prior to launching my business back in 2016, I decided I had spent 20 plus years in nonprofit services, developing coaching and counseling programs in the nonprofit sector. And I decided one day I was going to start a business. I was just at a place in my life. I was sitting on my couch thinking I'm not where I want to be in life. And I decided in that moment I was going to start a business without really knowing, what that looked like for me, what that meant, what exactly my business idea would, what was my business going to be. I had no clue. And so fast forward to some time later, over the years, as I struggled throughout my entrepreneurial journey in the beginning, it was all about like, how do I figure out what to sell? How do I navigate all this stuff online? How do I just get my business going? How do I get to something I actually feel I'm good at? Fast forward years later, as a business coach and strategist, obviously I got myself together. I gathered myself up because dialed in into what I had expertise in and what I was good at. As we fast forward, I've helped many women and some men throughout the years really just get their professional service business off the ground. Some I've helped launch their signature coaching program. When I say launch, develop it out from A to Z, and really just get people to the point of really tapping into themselves and looking at their own strengths so that they can stop looking at all these other external sources for how they can be profitable in business. And so I started the Boss Experience podcast, fall of 2021. It's almost been a year now. And so I, along with some amazing special guests over the seasons, help people get a grasp of what it's like to start a business, what you need to do. They share their own journeys, their own tips, their own strategies. Yeah, you get to hear from a lot of amazing women. You get to hear from me as well. And it's all about helping you not just get started, but stay in business. Because I think it's very easy to get started. I think the challenge is people staying in business and actually making money. Hey, if you're enjoying this episode and you're ready to take that next step to finally become a professional service provider on your own terms, I want you to consider working with me. When you work with me, I help you start your business the right way from the beginning so you can generate the revenue you desire doing what you love. So head over to CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. That's CEOBlueprintAcademy.com to check out the ways you can work with me to get set up for business success right from the start. That's CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. Okay, back to the show.
That's it. You said something there just a few moments ago that I hope people would catch on to. And I've had this conversation with many individuals who are starting their entrepreneur journey. I was even talking to a good friend of mine earlier in the week. When you're looking at social media, TV, any form of media, and you see the advertisements or the conversations about becoming an entrepreneur, and marketing makes it look easy. Marketing makes it looks like you do step 1, step 2, step 3, boom, and it's a piece of cake. And what you mentioned earlier, about some of the, the hardships that you face as an entrepreneur, the realities of it, like, yes, it is very rewarding. And loads of people have massive energy and massive action and they get started, but then the stick-to-itiveness, can they stick to it? Can they stay? Do you have the resiliency needed? Do you have the right mindset that is needed? Thinking about even the name of your podcast and some of the episodes that I've had the pleasure to listen to, the boss experience is about way more than the income that you make, the glitz and the glamour. The boss experience is the totality of it all.
Yeah. And that was the goal too, because if you look on social media long enough, you start thinking entrepreneurship is easy, but entrepreneurship is about mindset. It's about dealing with all those issues you may have had before you even, started your business. Some of us have a lot of baggage. We have a lot of confidence issues. We, may experience anxiety. We may have unresolved trauma. The boss experience is everything. It's the whole person. And when you think about, everything someone goes through, the whole mindset struggles, can they actually do what they want to do? Is entrepreneurship actually something they could be successful at? Because a lot of times we talk ourselves out of stuff before we even get started.
Because that's fear. That's, that can be a lot of things manifested that we think is something good that's saving us from heartache. But let's talk about that. Why it's important to know what is keeping you from getting started and why that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Fear, it's kind of like that thing that will make you or break you. So you're either going to stay and wallow in your fear or you're going to overcome it and do what you have to do. Because everybody gets scared. Everybody's fearful. I don't care how many smiling faces you see on social media. They get scared too. It's what you do with that fear. Are you going to allow that fear to hold you back? Or are you going to overcome that fear and say, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to do this anyway? Even in the clients that I worked with, and even in myself when I first got started, is you could develop this amazing program, right? You vetted it out, you've done the market research, and then next thing you know, you're like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Nobody's going to buy this. And then you're talking yourself out of success. You're talking yourself out of taking action. You're talking yourself out of getting started. And here's the thing. We all have done things and maybe it didn't work out the way we wanted, but you did it. And you don't know whether you're going to fail unless you start. And failures is part of the entrepreneurial process anyway. Is it pleasant to fail? Nope. But it's a part of the process. And if you don't get started, you're not going to go through the process. Everything ain't like, people posing in front of cars and like they never had, a hardship in their business. And, that's giving you a false sense of reality. But, you have to allow yourself to go through those bumps in the road so that you can get to the point where you are, seeing the profit you want to make in your business. You're constantly looking at your business, seeing how you can do better and be better. And you're not afraid to take risks, because think about it. If you're an entrepreneur, how many people have told you to get a real job, right? This ain't work. Yeah. So, just making the decision to start a business alone requires some sense of courage. So don't downplay, your strengths, and don't allow yourself to be overtaken by fear. And, you have to push forward no matter what's going on and what you need to overcome. The key is being realistic and being honest about what you're feeling and doing what it takes to get past it.
But Michele, you're so right. Like, nobody wants to fail, but failure isn't always a bad thing, depending on perspective. If I'm always winning, how do I know where I need to grow? How can I stretch? How can I be challenged? But in the midst of your failure, at least for me, let me say that. In the midst of my failure, once I, shake that off, because it never feels good, it's some learning experiences in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Boss Experience podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I hope you came away from that episode with a lot to reflect on. And just as a reminder, you can always visit CEOBlueprintAcademy.com to see how you can work with me. So with that being said, that concludes this episode. Thank you once again for tuning in. And I can't wait for you to tune in to another episode of the Boss Experience podcast. New episodes of the Boss Experience podcast return in January 2023. Take care and be well.
Did you know you can get funding for your business even if you're just starting out? We work hard every day to help businesses just like yours get the funding they need for marketing, expanding, or just to get through a rough time. So whether you are part of the gig economy, a freelancer, or you have a brick-and-mortar business, we can help you even if you were previously denied funding from the bank. You just need to be in business 3 months or more and earn at least $3,000 a month in revenue. No collateral is required, and we offer instant approvals in most cases. Remember, no matter how small your business is, we can help. Just visit fundsforsmallbusiness.com to get started today. Now, back to the episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Boss Experience podcast. Don't forget to leave a review for this episode and tune in next time.